All right, folks, so officially making a introduction video about the 2015 Honda CTX that I just bought yesterday. So I took the bike back, 100-mile ride, and locally I've also rode another maybe 10-15 miles, so I can already give you guys a pretty good first impression on what I think about this really nice motorcycle. And this is the Honda CTX700 DCT model. So the DCT model is very easy to spot. You have a door clutch filter access over there, and you do not have a clutch, and you have a parking brake. So that's the difference between the DCT and the non-DCT models of the CTX700. Same engine as CTX, as the NC700. Basically both, all of those engines are modified Honda Fit engines with 2 cylinders removed. So think of it as a 2-wheeled Honda Fit. Okay, that's the best I can describe this engine's performance, because it is not working like a motorcycle engine. So before this bike, I have a Triumph's 955. It's pretty much considered a naked liter bike, and also a Kawasaki Z1000. And now I ride a 150cc Piaggio Fly scooter, and I used to ride a Yamaha Majesty 250. So in terms of experience and a cruiser side, I used to own a Yamaha V-Star 650. So I've rode all kinds of bikes. Okay, this bike is very, very different from any other bikes that I've rode because of that DCT model. Otherwise, the bike handles like a cruiser. Okay, so as you can see, this is like a setup like a cruiser. The nice thing about this bike is because of the DCT model, they automatically include the ABS brakes for the front and back. So in terms of braking, very, very responsive. Okay, don't be fooled by that single disc. It's a gigantic single disc, stops on a dime for this 500-pound bike, which is again amazing in terms of performance. Now, fuel economy for the a little more than 100 miles I've rode, and with this pretty beat up tire that the seller had on, the tire is totally gone. Okay, so I ordered new tires. It's gonna come once we have everything set up. Gonna be more maintenance videos coming out, so make sure to subscribe, because as I do maintenance, I usually post them online so other people could benefit from maintaining their own bikes. So definitely subscribe and keep posted. Okay, so things I'm planning: valve clearance adjustment, filter change, spark plug change, coolant flush. Obviously you have to remove the coolant and the radiator in order to access the valve, so it's going to be a major job down the road. And of course, probably eventually a new chain, because this chain seems slightly worn. Okay, new chain and new sprockets is in the works. But other than that, the bike, when I bought it yesterday, 7,800 miles, so relatively new. The only thing that's worn, the only thing that needs immediate attention is original tires, which has never been replaced before. So those tires saw 8,000 miles of use almost, and they seem to be okay, but you know, time for a new tire. And everything else, the previous owner did regular maintenance, so the bike is pretty up to date. There really isn't anything wrong. Quite contrary, the previous owner, the first owner, actually spent over $1,000 on additional accessories, namely the GV, this Maxia E55. So fits 2 helmets inside, which is pretty amazing. Very easy to remove case, and it's using their mono key system, which is their standard I guess fitted bike luggage lineup. So you can also have the option to easily add 2 side kickstands, side bags if you want, but I think just 1 rear luggage is enough. The seller also, the first owner, also added a made in Germany, I think this is called Hepco Becker engine guard, and I think the engine has been laid down on both sides before. So if I look at those things, you can see it's already being bended to the side. but that's okay. I haven't seen any damage on the paint or anything else, so it should be good. And the LED light, there is only one thing LED, which is the brake. The brake LED works great, very bright. Everything else is actually tungsten. So tungsten turning signals, tungsten headlight, and tungsten rear turning signals. The mirror, very, very easy to see with those big mirror, and I think it's pretty standard for most of the Hondas. Okay, it's also got a pretty useless little pocket over here. It's like longitudinally, so it's got more space on the sides, but it's very shallow. So I don't know, you can maybe put a tool bag in here at most. Otherwise, doesn't even fit my iPhone 14 Pro Max. You have your fuel door over here, which you can access only with a key, so it's locked. You turn this and you take it out. You can leave the fuel door over here while you're fueling. Otherwise, you usually fill it to the little 2 lines over there. So that's what I usually do. When you finish, you just press down and it pops back. And you can remove the key and close this. So the fuel tank is somewhere here. Okay, center of gravity is pretty low. So in terms of riding, it's fairly easy. And even with the big luggage on the back, I don't really feel any kind of additional weight on me. It actually feels like a very light bike for a 500-pound bike. Okay, so very, very nice. Seat is comfortable, 100 miles, no complaint, no back pain. The position of the peg could be better. I kind of wish it would have a sport bike peg for long distance riding, because if I put my foot over here, going 75 miles per hour to 80 miles per hour, my foot gets blown away. So kind of like it's not a good place for the footrest on the highway, at least in my opinion. So maybe a floorboard will be more useful. Okay, so maybe that could be a eventual update. Okay, and what else I want to talk about? The seals after 7,000 miles had already worn a little bit, so I ordered new seal kits. So hopefully when I put the bike in for the tire change, could get the new seal kit. The radiator seems to be in very good condition. There's no damage, stone chip or anything, so that is a good sign that the bike is well maintained and didn't being ridden at places as it's not supposed to. Yeah, and everything else about the bike, very, very good. Absolutely no complaint. Okay, so this is again my first video introducing the Honda CTX700 DCT. Now, the very last thing I want to talk about is the DCT shifting. Okay, on my way back, I was just very uncomfortable with the way it shifted, because it's a car engine, and this DCT is shifting as early as it can possibly do, and sometimes too early. So at the low end of the RPM, you always feel like, you know, the engine is struggling quite a lot and it's shaking. So I don't really quite like the initial impression with the DCT on the drive mode. However, I went on to some internet forums and I talked about the performance. People suggested me using the sports mode, which actually with the sports mode on the DCT, it shifts a lot more like the bikes that I've owned before when I'm doing manual shifting. So it shifts maybe 1,000 to 1,200 RPMs later. And that had made the bike a lot more enjoyable in city stop and go riding. Okay, so I suggest if you're also looking at this bike, don't be afraid of the DCT model, and it really works well in the city stop and go commute. Like before, when I owned those liter bikes, my hand is always fatigued when I have to constantly pull the clutch, shifting from 1 to 3 in the city stop and go, which is really annoying. And with this, I literally just twist the shutter and go. I don't have to worry about shifting. Sometimes on the highway, if I'm coming to a fast stop, I still have the habit of grabbing the clutch because I want to, you know, grab the brake and at the same time shifting the gear. And then I realize, oh, there's no clutch. So sometimes my hand will just be like this, which is really weird. But that's just more funny than actual complaint. okay? No clutch, no shifting. I thought I was gonna feel weird on this one, but since I rode scooters before and I rode motorcycles before, all kinds, I would say DCT is definitely a fun thing to have and more practical for actual daily commute. If you commute a lot, if you commute every day, if you love commuting on your motorcycle in the city, I would suggest take a serious look at the DCT models. You don't necessarily have to get a CTX. You can get an NC700 or 750X, which is more sporty looking and a little bit taller, but still pretty low in terms of seat height. Great commuting motorcycles with the DCT. So that's all I want to say at this introduction video. Make sure you subscribe. When I do those maintenance videos, you'll be updated and posted the first hand. All right, so I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, please do hit the like button or subscribe to my channel. At the very end, I am going to just start the bike, let you guys hear the engine sound when the sun's setting, and it's time for me to ride back home. Okay. So you heard that click, that's when you turn off the bike without setting it to neutral, okay? So it automatically disengages the next time you turn on the bike, which is a safety feature, which works really well. And I'm gonna remove the kickstand. I'm gonna start the bike on neutral. Super easy start. Parallel twin, 670cc. Right, so right now it's in neutral. It's not gonna move around, and it's not gonna engage the clutch until you hit the D, and you don't have to pull the clutch, okay, which is pretty cool. Mosquito is killing me, so I'm gonna be quick. And the exhaust is very quiet. This exhaust looks gigantic, however, it's not very hot, okay, so this is like to prevent you from getting burned. The actual exhaust is inside this big stainless steel wrap. So very safe to have, okay? Your passenger is not gonna get their legs burned easily. All right, and to engage the clutch, super easy. You just hit D, and it turns to gear 1 in drive mode. You hit one more time, it's gonna change to sports mode. Okay, so D, S, and if you hit N, it's gonna go to neutral mode. Okay. So very good bike to have, and I also have a riding video, so if you're interested in see how it rides in the neighborhood, check that video out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, take care.